What's been going on with this channel? As you clicked on this video, you probably noticed I haven't done videos in a while. I'll explain what's been going on after this. Okay, so I've had nothing but a stream of bad luck for about the last month and a half, 2 months. I got sick and had a really bad cough, so I couldn't do videos. And then I did about 7 videos. I noticed when I went back to edit them, I had a weird audio glitch. So I went back and re-edited one of them, and then the audio didn't even work. Checked the chords, some just weird technical glitches. So I was working on a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video talking about the games. A little bit inspired by Retro Menace, who is doing some stuff on TikTok and on YouTube. I'm like, I have a bunch of review and reviews I've been doing for Turtles. I recorded a while back. I just talk about Turtles and just talk about them. Everything was great up to like 2 minutes. The glitch kicked in, and it's a weird one. It was in not the only video that did it too. That stalled me. And then I got the flu. I've never had the flu in my life. The weirdest thing. So it took me out even longer. I just got over it about 2 weeks ago. I went back and re-recorded the Turtles video. So that will hopefully be released soon. I even did a Strange Occurrence, and that same thing happened. And it just did this really weird glitch. Take a phrase and as you demonstrate here. Weird stuff is happening. I got sick, technical glitches. Never before has ever happened like that, ever. And then, boom, got sick again, and it was worse the second time. So that's what's been going on. So I haven't quit YouTube, or I haven't quit doing content. My voice is still kind of messed up from having that flu, and my allergies kicked in too. So my voice is kind of rough right now. I was supposed to do the 40-hour film festival again, but something came up, and it's probably a good thing I didn't do it because I got sick. But we were supposed to do a team building film like we usually do. But I got sick. I couldn't infect anyone else. It was a really weird timing. When we first moved into this house, I gave myself a 5-year plan. So I'm giving myself till 2025. And I have to be out of the collecting market. Gave myself an extra year because of moving in and everything. The NES set I've gone after twice. If I really wanted to, it's only like 50 games, and I have a complete NTSC setting. I have all the biggies still. I still have my Samson, Dino Peak, Power Blade 2. I have Pro Sport Hockey, Swamp Thing. Terrible, terrible game. It wouldn't take me very long to get that set if I really wanted to. But there is a set I am going for, and that is the Game Boy. If you watch my video about why I sold again, there was a portion there I talk about I didn't want to sell my Game Boy, but I figured why not, as I wasn't going to do the series anymore. I worked on the series for a long time, even after the last video I did for the Game Boy series. And so I worked on the series. I've been working on the series, and I do have a part 3 talking about the Game Boy versus the different ports on the Game Boy and some of the more expensive games. I've been going for a set. I was only 10 away, but I had to relook at my numbers. I was more like 15 away because I forgot a couple of them were UK versions of the game. When I sold, I was 487 or 490, but there's about 10 games or 12 games I never owned. Well, this year has been completely different. I actually have quite a bit of games I never owned before, including Ninja Taro. It kind of reminds me of Maru's Mission a little bit, just like the graphics and the design and the gameplay a little bit. Definitely Game Boy of that era, one I never owned before. So right now I have over 400 titles. So I'm not quite there, but there's enough to do the series. So I'm going to be working on that video pretty soon. It is all about the Game Boy, celebrating the Game Boy. The Game Boy is a popular handheld system of the 90s. It ruled over 10 years, all the way to the Game Boy SP. It was longer than that. So I'm really excited about it. I love talking about the Game Boy. Another thing I just went to was SideQuest Gaming Expo. I did not do coverage for the event. I did record a couple things. They had a couple weird items I've never seen at an expo. They had a magical chase. There was a Virtual Boy with a Jack Bros CIB. Then someone had a bunch of sealed NES games, including Dragon Fighter. Dragon Fighter is rarer than Little Samson. To see it sealed in multiple copies. Crazy. Went there, hunt for Game Boy games. I got a couple Super Nintendo games. There's a couple games that I want to talk about with the Game Boy. And that's one of my rules. I can't talk about the game unless I have the game. If I have to get a Game Boy game and it's a port of a Super Nintendo game or NES game, I have to have that game to talk about it. Compare the two, I have to have it. It's just my rules. Nothing wrong with emulation, just what I feel I need to do.
So it'd be totally rad, man. Pick yourself a Game Boy and a game pack, and you want portable power.
Like one thing you can see behind me, right there, is the Tick. That's a vintage game display. I've been getting a lot of them. I just recently got Devil May Cry 3, Resident Evil Outbreak File 2, Turtles Nexus, and Street Fighter 1, and have a Mortal Kombat 2 coming in the mail. And I have a bunch of these Hot New Daily vintage posters. I got about 6 or 7 of them from rental stores or mom and pop video game stores of the 90s. But not to stop, because I have no more room. I just got Lunar Remastered Collection for the Switch. Got it day one from Gung Ho. It sold out that day. Been having a blast. It has a lot of charm. Now I have Lunar, the Silver Story on the PS1, but to play it on, the Switch or a PS4 or even an Xbox is really awesome. Yeah, they re-recorded the voiceovers.
Alex, couldn't you hear me? I've been flying all over for the last half hour calling for you.
In the songs, but I've been enjoying it. Now the battles, sometimes I feel a little lackluster, but the story so far has been full of charm. It really is full of charm. So I never owned Lunar as a kid. I knew about it in passing. I saw some advertisements for it, but didn't have a Sega CD. I saw plenty of copies at Expos when I was older. I wasn't a big RPG fan until I was like a young adult. I used to play Final Fantasy all the time when I did internet ads. During my job, during downtime between ads, I could actually play my Game Boy Advance, which I still have. Just to clarify, this was the mid-2000s. So I always brought Final Fantasy, Dawn of Souls. I played some Game Boy games on there too, but I played a lot of Final Fantasy. I love Chrono Trigger. Playing through Lunar, like I said, the combat's a little lackluster sometimes. If I just put it on auto and have them fight for me. But the story shines. It shines bright. I love the characters. I love the little banter. And there's a lot of adult jokes. There's little phrases and little sayings. Overall, the characters and the little jokes in there and the banter between the two. There's a twist pretty early on in the game, and you go on this world adventure, try to rescue someone and save the world and become the Dragon Master. So far, I'm loving it. So I played for about a couple hours, and I can see why people regard Lunar in such high regards. It has that charm. It has that RPG classic feel in the characters. If you're interested, keep your eye open and get Silver Star Remastered. So Strange Occurrences, I have a video about the Amityville Horror follow-up, but I don't know how I feel about it, but I kind of want to move on from that topic and do another Strange Occurrence, even though I recorded one, but it glitched, so I had to delete it because there was no saving it. I have such a busy summer, but my goal is to get the Game Boy. I'm working on it now. I'm going to start recording voiceover in about a month. I did most of the script back in like 2020 or something. I just have to update it and add some more games to it. But I'm going to also work on Game Player Game Tapes, talk about that whole video series. Right now, there's a Super Mario Brothers 2 on eBay. First time I've ever seen it. Luckily, my buddy Retro Menace hooked me up a couple of years ago, so I completed the set. Never seen it on eBay. Probably as rare as the prototype. I've only seen that on eBay once. That's the one I got. But it's just kind of a crazy look at that. Someone actually has a Game Player Game Tape, Super Mario Brothers 2 special. Well, that's what's going on this channel if you're interested. I've never vanished. It just, the last couple of months have been rough. I haven't been doing a lot of stuff on TikTok. I was doing a lot of stuff on TikTok, and I kind of stopped and I was going to get banned again. I don't know what's going on. I just haven't felt like I needed to go back to TikTok. And once you stop doing content, it's easy not to do content. I love doing content. I love talking about video games. I love talking about Strange Occurrences. I love talking about movies. I haven't done that in a while. I miss filmmaking, and I do plan on getting back to that this summer as well. But that's what's been going on. Stay tuned, though. More stuff is coming. Have fun. Go game. See you guys later.